last week of July to continue to do what we've been doing. We've kind of hit not a bump in the road or anything, just, we're trying to get finances and scheduling, and we just ended up moving, so we had to get everything in order. A lot of stuff behind the scenes, but as far as this goes, we're continuing to kind of clear cut and make space, and eventually start to de-stump, so that we can make space for the house kit that's coming. This isn't an ideal situation whatsoever as far as where we're putting the supplies and the hardware, and not having a nice clean spot to put it. And that's actually one of the reasons why we're using all these pallets, or bringing all these pallets in, is because we want to keep our hardware and our steel and everything off the ground, because ideally when it gets here we would put it up pretty quickly, but having this be a DIY build, oh, there goes my cloud cover for a little bit. Having this be a DIY build, where we can only go so fast, and having 3 kids, 5 and under, it is what it is, right? So we're just gonna luckily we have a lot of friends and family that help, and they'll come out for like a weekend or whatever, and watch the kids. And so Amanda and I, and sometimes our oldest, are able to come out and just do whatever by ourselves, whether it's my mom or her mom or an uncle or not or whatever helping. So we're super thankful to all of you who do help, and then just even your support is help enough. But so here's what we have going on now. As far as the last week of July is concerned, we've secured funding to finish the pad, to get the concrete, to get it formed up, and everything from finishing the pad to getting it to where we can put the house up. I want to say we have the funding for all of that now. We purchased the house kit and made the adjustments we needed to make, and we'll go into that in a future video. So obviously that was a decent chunk of change. So we're continuing to, like I said, clear cut, burn as we go, de-stump. Yeah, as far as the ideal scenario would be, obviously we would want this as flat as possible to put everything on. But the plan is, whenever the house kit gets here, which we're kind of tracking for September right now, and that is about the time this is going to get finished up. So it's all on God's timing right now, as far as everything goes. We're at His mercy with that. And, as the funds come in and as people get booked. So it's easy to want to stress out about it, but we're not going to. We're just going to keep our nose to the grindstone, enjoy our children every day, enjoy the process, because as much as I want there to be a house here, and as much as I want to be living here already, and doing all of the stuff that we want to do on the land, there is a lesson in this, is for me, not for y'all, but for everybody, I guess, that to enjoy the process, right? And all that includes. So with that being said, we did buy a box grader for the tractor, and then we are going to be purchasing a pallet fork front attachment for the front of the loader, either to replace the bucket, like an attachment that goes on where the bucket goes, or forklift attachments that go on the bucket itself. I'm leaning towards the whole front loader implement, the forklift implement itself, to go on the front, because that will help with the log removal, so we don't have any more accidents like we had. And but yeah, the tractor's working great out here. The ground isn't super compact because it was demulched forest, so there's a lot of organic material on the topsoil, and it makes it, especially when stuff gets de-stumped and there's the sagging holes that get filled back in. The tractor's kind of tall, so I think if in a perfect world I would have a wide skid steer out here. But again, in saying that, the tractor is going to help us throughout the whole process of living here, even after we're done building. So tractor would have to happen anyways. I didn't say have to, but it would happen anyways. While a skid steer, I think, would only be so useful for so long. But you know, we're gonna work with what we got. We're blessed to have what we have, and just gonna be careful while we're driving. I do wear my seatbelt when I'm in it because the incline makes me, I'm not gonna lie to you, it does make me nervous. And you know, you'll be driving, especially with a load of logs in the front loader, and just feeling the weight shift. You got to go real slow. So, anyways, so I don't know if you can tell, it's pretty hot out. You know, we're right in the middle of summer, so the Tennessee summers are as advertised. They are humid and hot, but I don't know. I'm just getting slowly acclimated to it. I have gotten a little color, as you can see, where I was before to where I am now. So yes, today it is just going to be me. We'll lay out the plan, but Amanda and the kids are hanging out with family, trying to get, you know, squeeze the rest of the summer conveniences. They're the things, the entertainment that comes with summer. They're trying to squeeze the rest of that out. And my wife, she works so hard behind the camera or behind the scenes or during the rest of the week, whatever you want to say. She works her buns off. And we all do. We all work hard, but she, you know, definitely deserves. And I mean, she's not vacationing. She's going and doing something fun with, you know, with our 3 young kids. So it's still work. Being completely honest, anybody who has kids knows that. But yeah, we made the decision for me to stay and try to get some work done, and hopefully throw up a video tonight or something. But so yeah, here I'll show you what I mean about the driving here, or driving on here, especially with the heavy rains we've been getting. It's kind of messed. Well, you'll see. It's not messed with, but it's manipulated the ground a little bit. But I don't know if you can see any of that. So this ground is, or the camera is on a gimbal, so it's keeping it completely level. It's keeping it completely level, so I don't know if you can see. It's probably not easy to see on camera, all the little not rivets, but little bumps in the holes in the ground. But that big tree is just about all cut up. But this is what I'm saying, like, you know, something like this guy. My hand width is about 9.5 inches, so yeah, that was a big boy. So I've been slowly throwing that, you know, on that pile, and this one slowly but surely. Every time we light it, a little bit more goes. So for now, before I get to any work, there's a bunch of maintenance that needs to be done. Need to take care of the chainsaw, sharpen it, oil it up, refuel it, make sure the oil level's good on for the 2-stroke, the oil gas mix. Then I want to grease up the tractor, the grease points, and then I've been bringing, every once in a while, that's completely full, so I can bring it over to the 30-gallon that we have and keep that topped off for the diesel. So yeah, we'll get to it.